Welcome back to the channel. I've got a very exciting video in store for you today. I'll be sitting down with George Kaltekis from Uptrade for my first collaborative video. We're covering some exciting topics, including crypto ETFs versus the tokens themselves. Which one's better for you? Beyond that, we'll be looking at crypto retirement plans, including 401k options. And to top things off, we'll be covering security and identifying some of the crypto scams that are out there today. Without further ado, let's introduce our guest. This is my first collaboration here on the channel. I'd like to introduce George from Uptrade. This is exciting stuff for me. This is, after all, my first collaborative video. Let's jump straight into it. George, what can you tell us about yourself and Uptrade?
Yeah, it's amazing, Andrew, and the first video of many, I'm sure. It's so nice to be able to have this, this floor to speak to you and your community, and it's going to be a great Q&A. I guess, my role, so I'm broker team lead at Uptrade. For those who haven't heard of us, we're a boutique crypto investment brokerage based in Australia, and been around for about 3 years now, and we got quite a couple thousand clients across the world in the States and Australia and some parts of Europe and even Canada as well. So yeah, it's great to be here and to have a bit of a forum to ask some of these
Yeah,
questions and get some good stuff answered. Yeah.
absolutely. This is great. So I want to right off the bat ask a question because I know this is something I get a lot on my channel. For someone who's brand new to crypto, let's say, they've been hearing about it in the news. It's all the buzz lately, but they've never purchased before. We do have the launch of the ETFs. If you're someone who has never bought crypto before, you really don't know anything about it. Do you recommend going the ETF route or more the self-custody route of owning the physical token? Can you give us some pros and cons and what you think on that?
Absolutely. So I think the first and foremost thing is understanding what is the right fit for you when you are starting off your journey.
Hmm.
ETFs are a product that people are generally kind of sort of used to it and they understand how it works. They maybe have done that in their stock portfolio, and that's a familiar path for many people. And for some people, it's about actually owning the underlying asset and having that self-sovereignty right to be able to transfer it out or to be able to do as you wish with this because it's ultimately your asset. So I guess some of the pros of having an ETF vehicle for getting into crypto for the first time is the familiarity concept, is that you're used to this structure and in terms of how to buy it, you understand the concept, and it's less scarier typically for the individual.
Hmm.
Uh, Another pro of it is that it is sometimes through recognized platforms that you may have used in the past, and that's kind of a lower barrier to entry, so to speak.
Of course.
Um, yeah, do you see that as well in your world?
Yeah. One thing that I find very interesting about the ETFs in particular, I know here, at least in North America, we have the 401k and the traditional and Roth IRA options. One thing that we can do, and it's something I myself am doing, is that you're able to take some of your portfolio. Maybe you've already got a position in something else, or maybe you're just contributing to it altogether. You're able to contribute to either your traditional IRA or the Roth IRA. I don't know if in North America the 401ks are an option quite yet, but if you have something like the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF or the XRP ETFs, there's a few of them now. Those are things that you can directly contribute to in your traditional or in your Roth IRA so that you can get those retirement benefits without necessarily owning the token, but it's a tax advantaged account. And a question I have for you, because I did see it on your website, you guys do have a 401k option. I noticed. Does that include the actual token itself, or is that an ETF?
No, it's a great question, and I think a lot of our clients really value the ownership of the actual asset itself. In other words, you are the custodian, the sole custodian of your asset. It is yours. You can move it freely. This is a pro of using a brokerage like Uptrade, where you are effectively have the ability to take that asset, move it out there in the space to your own wallet address or anywhere really in the world that you choose to. And you'll be able to also have other applications as a result of that. And then we'll talk about that in a bit more detail. But it just gives you a lot more power, a lot more rights, autonomy over how you want to control that asset. And I think it's a pretty big trend actually. Is the so we at Uptra we give the option where yes, you are effectively storing it in the most insured and secured custody in the industry, which comes with a lot of protections.
Hmm.
But it is also you are you're owning the underlying asset as well because we send that asset to a vault, like let's just imagine like a bank vault
Of
for
course.
crypto, and it's yours. You can go in anytime. You can take it, you can send it, you can withdraw it, and that control element is really important in a fast-moving market. Yeah.
So if someone wanted to start with that, what would be the procedure? Like I know at least here in a traditional company, your 401k, it's part of your employer match usually. If you wanted to enroll in something like this, would you first have to roll it out of a 401k into an IRA and then roll it over to Uptrade? Is that something you guys do directly, or what does the landscape of that look like?
Oh, it's a good question. So we don't handle the actual, the tax or administration behind the setting up the actual entity. We help with the onboarding of that, getting the account verified, making sure you pass all the compliance checks and everything is good to go with a fast service. Once it's verified and you have the entity structure, our onboarding team will help you to actually create the account. And then from there, it's exactly as you said. Once the rollover happens into the IRA, then you can then transfer those funds to Uptrade, and then we can help with the purchasing of those assets in an IRA. So that's the benefit. We don't handle anything kind of before the account onboarding and the
Hmm.
purchasing. That's held, set up by different tax attorneys or in the States. So that's kind of our involvement, and then we help with the onboarding, the execution, the purchase of the asset, and the secure custody, which is amazing. And we're going to talk about more about what may come in the future from this as well.
Hmm. That's fantastic. Now, on an employer level, do you see it getting to a place where, if you're working in a normal company, just any company that offers a 401k, do you see a future where cryptocurrencies, whether it's an ETF or maybe even the tokenized form, do you see that being something that actually becomes an option for everyday people, maybe within in Australia or here in United States? To actually contribute to a retirement account from their actual employer program. Is that a future you see unwinding?
I think so. I definitely think so. I think crypto is going through a massive regulatory change at the moment, especially with we have the most friendliest crypto president in history.
Of
So
course.
with that will come a lot more regulations and favorable regulations and treatments. I don't have the answer right now, but I could see a
Hmm.
future where you'll be able to contribute and into like a crypto product and have exposure to that in the IRA as part of a retirement account. We know that the US wants to have crypto as part of US retirement accounts naturally. So this will definitely become a key thing in the next few years. Mm.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that because I am always thinking about, where is this industry as a whole moving towards? And we're really paving, a road that hasn't been traveled down yet. And so it's very exciting to see that, over the next coming years, the entire financial system is going to essentially get a revamp or an overhaul. And I'm always really curious to see how does that roll out in terms of retirement planning, and not just even that, but can I go to the grocery store someday in the future and pay with a stable coin, or maybe even pay with an actual token itself? Maybe you're using XRP, maybe you're using Stellar. These are the kinds of things that I'm really excited to see how they roll out. And as you mentioned before, we're about to get that regulatory clarity. I know the Clarity Act is, maybe it didn't happen in the timeline that we were hoping that it would. Um, but it still seems like there's a pathway forward there. So we're going to have to just wait and see how that unfolds. So something I wanted to ask you next, let's say someone's holding their tokens with Uptrade. Are they going to be able to participate in some of these things that we're also excited for? Things like decentralized finance, staking, wrapping, delegation, or even perhaps lending of XRP if it ever comes to that level.
That's a really good, question. I get asked this many, many times, and the biggest thing. This is definitely heavily on our radar. Our treasury manager is currently reviewing plenty of options around this and what it looks like. But what we care about most is security first, and then reward later. So
Hmm.
we don't mind compromising on a little bit of yield and a little bit of what you can, earn as a result to make sure the assets are safe. That comes first, and then so we're currently reviewing what that looks like. And I wouldn't be surprised to see in the next few months a pretty big update around what that looks like as a roadmap.
Hmm.
I know that rumors have been mentioned potentially around different products around staking. around lending and borrowing and what that looks like. So effectively, our vision is to be the private bank for crypto. So from
Hmm.
one location, you can be the sole custody owner of your assets. In the future, hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be able to do lending and borrowing and maybe use that equity that you built in your XRP to go and buy a home. Or maybe if it's, as you said, to fund a new car, who knows? Or it
Hmm.
could be you're staking it, you're earning X amount of yield per month, and yeah, it's you're being rewarded for being a token holder,
Hmm.
and
Absolutely.
contributing to the network of XRP and Ripple. Yeah.
Yeah, very excited to see how all this stuff shakes out. I'm a very big fan of Flare. I'm sure you've seen from the channel.
I have.
I'm really happy with all of the things that they're doing over there. Very excited for Firelight. Even just, the staking and delegation with their FTSO providers just offers so many unique opportunities to generate passive income. Or in some ways, I see it as a better alternative to owning real estate in general. So I'm really excited to see, how does all of that unwind and see where it goes going forward. And so another thing I wanted to talk about because we kind of briefly mentioned it, there's the security side of things. What experience have you and your customer base had with scams? Because I know here on my own channel, the scamming it makes me furious. I can't even put into words how frustrated I get, and not just with the bot comments in all of these videos, but you also see thumbnails for fake videos that lead people to QR codes that could potentially drain their wallet. And those are just two examples. What experience do you guys have at Uptrade? Navigating all of these scams.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we care most about is protecting our clients. And that's like the heart of this is trust and protection. Because if you can have $1 million in crypto, but one wrong button, one wrong email getting compromised, and you click the wrong link and it's gone forever.
Mhm.
Not saying that that will happen, but it can happen if you're not protected and careful. So what we really do care about is the consumer protection. And what that does that look like? So we know we've heard all the stories in the space. There was another brokerage, a client who she was being coached through a scam for XRP, and they made a relationship. They called her and just said, "Hey, look, you can earn false returns on her XRP." It was completely fraudulent, but she believed it, and she ended up just following all their instructions.
Hmm.
And as a result, she had lost quite a bit of money. It's about $200,000 that she'd lost in XRP because she sent it elsewhere from these people that were coaching her for these false returns. And there wasn't any guarantees.
Hmm.
I think it was an exchange, or I can't remember the exact name. I won't mention it, but they didn't have any real safeguards to protect her in the sense of having a relationship. So with us, what we do first is we build a relationship with our clients and we know what they're trying to achieve and do, and we understand. And that's
Hmm.
very, very important to be able to just get on a phone call and say, "Hey, what are you doing here? What is this that you're trying to achieve?"
Right.
And we know all the scams. We've seen it all. That's first and foremost is the relationship. Secondly, we have a lot of safeguards in our custody where, for a withdrawal to go out through our secure suite, we need about two or three approvals before it goes out. There's a lot of safeguards. So we actually call the client, we verbally confirm it's them making the request.
Hmm.
We send a small test transfer first. We ask, and understand why they're making that transfer in terms of like, is it the right decision for you in terms of protecting you? And of course, it's not relevant for everyone, and it's designed to hinder people, but it's designed to make sure that these simple errors, which can be massive detriments to your life wealth and what you're trying to
Of
build,
course.
is protected. And it's not for everyone, but those that do value that as a service, where we even have things like next of kin, where if something were to happen, and people have millions of dollars on their ledgers and wallets, if they haven't backed it up with their family or friends or next of kin, it's gone forever. So the
Hmm.
protections are all the way from family planning to secure custody to the right industry practice. I mean, it's such a simple thing to send a test, but people don't really think to do that. I've seen people they copy addresses, write it out manually, the
Hmm.
basic stuff that you just want to avoid. But on the scam front, there's plenty of that happening.
To that point, I want to bring this up even for my own audience because I think this is so important, is that there is a crypto scam out there where they will track your activity through the ledger. So let's say you just recently made a transaction, even literally just a second ago. They can see your public transaction. They might not know who you are, but they have your ID. And if they know you traded XRP, for example, they might send you a very small fraction of XRP just to get your wallet address, and they'll spoof a different address. And basically, when you go to send your crypto back and forth between wallets, as many of us do, if you go into the transaction screen on your wallet or through Coinbase or whatever app you're using, there's sometimes the option it'll be in your transaction history. Just you click the last wallet that's sent. And if they're spoofing an address that has the same characters in the beginning and the same characters at the end, if you're not double checking, you could end up sending whatever it was that you meant to send goes to this spoofed wallet and there you go. You have no idea it even hit you because all they had to do to get on your transaction history was just send you the most smallest fractional amount. And I've seen horror stories of people, very smart people in crypto, getting bamboozled by that. So I definitely think, there's definitely some value. And what you're saying is that you guys basically shelter people from that. And then if I'm understanding this correctly, you guys identify as like a boutique brokerage, meaning, if I need support, if I call one of you, I'm on the phone with a real person, not an AI chat bot or really a call center. Do I have that correct?
100%. So in this case, you'll be speaking effectively with me. So I manage the broker team. I've been doing crypto for 8, 9 years, investing and trading, seen and heard every scam and project under the sun. So it's very rare to actually speak to the phone on the phone to someone in the space. And we're here. Our faces are on the website. We're public, and that's such a simple thing, but to a lot of people, it's very valuable.
Mm-hmm. And so for those of you guys at home watching, you guys know that I love self-custody, but I know that for some of you guys, that's something that maybe you're not entirely comfortable with. I do think what George is talking about here, it's a good safe option to have a place to store your crypto and maybe you don't necessarily want to have the cold wallet because it opens opportunities for people to sneak in and get at it. So I think what you guys are offering, George, is a very cool service. We've got about 5 to 10 minutes left on the Zoom call. Is there any topics that you want to cover before we hit our time limit?
I think we've covered off very important topics around, the ETF products, a little bit about the compliance and where that's heading. I think the only other thing I would mention is, you know, where we are at the market at the moment. We just had tariffs removed this morning, from Trump. We had an impulse
Hmm.
move, a little bit of a bounce in the market for Bitcoin and the alts. And I think this is the thing is that there's a lot of negative sentiment out there. But if you look underneath the hood of the car, there's a lot of positive things happening in the
Oh,
crypto space.
absolutely.
Right. So when you analyze any company or anything you look at, is there a disparity between the price and what's happening in the fundamentals? And that's when, as an example, Amazon was down 95%. I don't know what year it was, or 2001 or two.
Hmm.
And Bezos put out a letter, and Bezos said, "Hold on, yes, our price is down 95%, but our stats have never looked better. Our book sales are going from strength to strength. Everything is looking good. All our metrics are great." And the company was growing, and then people that bought the fear, and they did very well. It's the same thing here. We don't see any fundamentally negative things towards crypto. We see a lot of adoption and growth from institutions and buying. We see, yes, the price is down. That's one, perception of market value, which people, as you know, people are irrational, they're emotional,
Hmm.
things get mispriced. So I think that, yeah, despite the conditions, I think there's always opportunity. And speaking of the right people about having a strategy session or consultation, just to see if it's the right fit for you. If it sounds like it's for
Hmm.
you, feel free to set up a call because this year could be a big year for crypto, and I think having the right resources is going to be what you need to get ahead. The difference between you winning 200% to 500% or even more to just being baseline, and it's about having information, and that's really
Hmm.
important. Yeah.
I agree 100%. And even this morning, worked on a video about Flare. Flare just went under a penny yesterday for the first time since 2023. And we see nothing but good news in this market. And so, like you were saying, price is only one piece of the overall puzzle. It's not necessarily the only thing that derives value, especially in this emerging market. I'm a very firm believer that the best is still yet to come. And I think we're really going to see that once we hit the Clarity Act. Hopefully that gets approved sometime this year. Hopefully in April, but you just never know with our legislators.
Amazing. No, I'm totally with you on that. And yeah, we'll get some more clarity around that, no pun
Hmm.
intended. And yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm sure we're gonna be doing a lot more of these videos. We do a lot of research and analysis in our brokerage, so maybe we can do something about that in the future videos. And yeah,
Hmm.
I just wanted to thank you for the forum and this opportunity, and I look forward
Yeah.
to 2026 with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you as well. This was my first collaborative video. So, as you know, I recently started my channel back in November. So, a lot of things been moving very quickly for me, but I'm very excited to see, how far we can take it. Not just on this channel, but in this space entirely. So, I'm really happy to collaborate with you. For those that watching at home, how can they find you?
So what I'll do is I'll leave a link with my contact details and a sign up or a link that you have under the Andrew Fillion page,
Hmm.
which will have a sign up. And then what we'll do is I'll be in contact if you do want to have a consultation. If it sounds like it's for you, no stress if it's not. It's not for everyone, but for those that do find it really valuable, there's many of our clients. And so yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for you guys, and looking forward to seeing you all. Mm.
Awesome. Well, thank you, George, for sitting down with me. You guys at home, thank you for watching. It's amazing to see where this channel has gone in just a short 2.5 months. Excited to see where we take this in 2026, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys in the next one. George, thank you again for taking the time to sit down with me on both angles here. I hope you guys all have a great day.
I appreciate it, Andrew.
All
See you
right,
soon. Take care.
take care. Once again, I'd like to thank you, George, for hopping on the show. For those of you watching at home, if you made it this far, go ahead and like the video. Make sure you're subscribed if you are not already. What would you like us to address next? Let us know in the comments below, and I would be happy to answer them myself or pass them along to George. In addition to this, I stream every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We look at many different things. We start the stream off with a wellness check. This covers the crypto markets, the silver and gold market, bond markets, and the US stock market. From there, we move on to whatever global news is happening in the market that day. Hope to see you guys there, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.